Hey, hello. You're stuck in trouble with Wolf Gorlick. A few minutes riffing on IT and IT security. Today, looking at the value of building a lab. It is July 4th weekend. I am not flying anywhere, which is exciting. I don't have to fly anywhere at all for the next couple weeks. Not that I don't like flight. I mean, thank you, Wright brothers, right? Thank goodness for them for putting everything together so that we can fly and everyone else who contributed. But one of the things that people oftentimes don't think about with the Wright brothers is one of the reasons they were able to get ahead, one of the reasons they were able to innovate and move so fast, one of the reasons they were able to be one of the pioneers in aviation, wind tunnel. Wind tunnel, look it up. Pretty cool. They built a wind tunnel to study and mimic and test different ways of building wings, and that allowed them to progress very, very quickly. Otherwise, you just fly a plane and you didn't necessarily know what happened, or sometimes it broke, and sometimes things didn't go well. And the tip for you is this: in much the same way as studying an airplane wing under controlled conditions allows you to innovate very quickly, studying malware, the fish that we get all the time that contain malware, or email, fraudulent email, whatever you want to call them, studying those messages and the attachments and looking at how those are put together allows us to very, very quickly evolve our defenses. And it's something we oftentimes overlook, right? We put in place our spam filters, we put in place our detection, we give users buttons and they can say this is a fish, and it goes off somewhere, and people validate yes it is a fish or it isn't. And it usually ends up there. That's where it stops. But the ability to triage and throw that into a lab opens up some new things. It's the equivalent of having that wind tunnel, because you can put it in a lab and you can test it out and you can say, what would it do if it had gotten through? What would some of the ports and protocols be? What would some of the changes it would have made in the file system? This is a really good learning experience, and it's free intelligence is coming directly to us. And just like it's free intelligence, it can also be analyzed with free tools. You don't need to necessarily invest a lot to make this happen. You put a computer on its own VLAN, gotta be on its own VLAN. You segment it and isolate it and make sure that nothing can get away from it. Because you are going to be playing with some potentially nasty stuff. And then you use a couple tools like sysinternals for Microsoft, like Process Monitor. That will show you what's writing and reading to the file system, writing and reading to the registry, what processes are starting. A lot of intel will come from sysinternals, Process Monitor. On the network side, you can use Wireshark. Throw in a sniffer, watch the traffic come in and out, and see what's communicating. 2 free tools: analyzing free malware. And that can create situations where you can have a lot of playtime, you can have a lot of time in tests, you can build up some skills. It can be very useful for the folks to run these in this environment, learn it, master it, figure out how to clean it up, figure out what it looks like before a phishing email with malicious attachments will get through, and now we're scrambling trying to figure out what to do. Using this intel, using this test environment to sharpen us up, really, really brilliant idea. Now, I will say a couple things about this. 1, isolate it. 2, please know that you gotta look at everything your team can do and only do this at the right time, right? This isn't necessarily something you do right away when you've got other fires to put out, like worrying about patching and identity and access management and everything else. This is more of a mature step, right, in your phishing process. And 3, I keep saying the word fish, and I know the people who are out there are going to send me a message or a reply on Twitter that phishing traditionally is just a trick to get your creds. Yes, I get that. I am specifically here talking about email, which is a trick to get you to run an executable. Maybe that executable tries to harvest your creds. Maybe the executable modifies your system. Maybe the executable installs malware. So those fishes that have those files, those are the things we want to throw in our wind tunnels, we want to throw in our labs, and use to teach our guys and gals who will be jumping in and doing the instant response so they can get sharper, better, faster. Do you have some good examples of where this has worked well in your environment, or some horror stories where it's run away? Usually the horror stories are things like, oh, we tested on a production network and didn't have good segmentation. Comment, social media, hit me up.